I think with showing these works at the Gantt Center, I'm able to speak on the topics that I speak to in all my work, but I'm able to really hammer it in.
I think if painting is going to matter, and it's not just going to be an adornment or just another pretty object that's being brought into the world, then I think painting needs to be tied to something.
You know, I think it's very important to not escape these things, right? I think it's important to confront these feelings, these notions, these ideals. And so I try and harness that pain, harness those emotions on that topic, and relate that through picture making.
These paintings are tied to spirituality, they're tied to history, and they're tied to something that's also deeply personal for him, you know, and his family.
I started as a graphic designer, but at the same time I had a very strong hand. I was a really good illustrator. So when I was thinking about stepping outside of graphic design, I felt like painting made the most sense. Yeah, growing up, I mean, my father always said, in anything that you do, you should honor God, right? As I was becoming an adult and my own man, that time frame with also the time of me maturing and becoming a maker, those timelines are they're very connected. You know, abstract painting for me, it lies in energy, it lies in the moment. But at the same time, I guess as I mature as a painter too, you know, concepts do come to mind. So it's about marrying those two sides, right? Having a distinct idea of something to make or a concept on how to approach a picture, but at the same time leaving that room for abstraction to happen, right? Where it's just fluidity and flow and energy.
I describe Reginald Sylvester's art style as abstract expressionism, but also action painting. I also consider him to be a mixed media artist who's not only doing painting, but is also working in assemblage, and also working to some extent quite sculpturally.
And so when I think about making these abstract pictures, again, they're from my own experiences, things that I go to, but there also is messages lined through these works.
You know, I think that he's also part of a long lineage of abstract painters, both Black and non-Black painters as well. And I think his work fits very well in that conversation and in that lineage.
When I think about, as far as like an abstract painter, right? One who's dedicated themselves to their practice and their work, someone like William de Kooning comes to mind. Someone like Frank Bowling comes to mind. It's a combination of different artists that I look at, but again, not just the art that they make or the work that they make, but more so the careers that they've had.
Reginald Sylvester is an artist that I have a great deal of belief in his trajectory and his future as an artist. And when I was thinking about bringing an exhibition of his work to the Gantt Center, it just really dawned on me that this was it was the perfect moment for both the Gantt Center and for Reginald Sylvester, because you have an artist who I think is on the cusp of just a tremendous career ahead of him, and you have an institution that is reaching this milestone that I think is an indicator of its future as well, that it has a great future ahead of it. And to bring those two things together, to be a curator that can kind of make those two things happen, it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. Having a solo museum show is a big deal, but I think having a solo museum exhibition in the state where you were born, where your family members get to come and see your work displayed in a museum, that's so special.
You know, I want this to be a show where, you know, Black and brown and indigenous folks can come and really feel, you know, what we've been going through. You know, so what better place to do it then to be at the Harvey B. Gantt Center.